it's Ashley.
And Cindy.
And this is Life for Dummies.
Because we're real dumb.
What if I don't grow up, I just grow old, a product of the clock?
Hey, you know what we should talk about?
What?
We should talk about following the rules.
Oh, I don't like that.
Most of us don't. We don't think the rules apply to us.
Yeah, that's the real thing.
Yeah, like, why should I follow the rules? I'm super special. They don't apply to me.
You are special, Cindy.
Yeah, I'm real special. But I used to think that. I thought that the rules did not apply to me. That, like, I was special and, like, those were for everyone else, but not me.
Totally.
And that's just not right. And
No.
it's really super disrespectful to everyone else.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I guess I just never considered the fact that everyone else is just another person like me.
Yeah, I mean, we're all people, you know, and there's rules for a reason, right? They protect us. They do all kinds of things, but the most is like protection, right? Like when rules are in place, like it's so people don't harm one another, because unfortunately there are not nice people in the world, and like, you know, they're going to harm you if certain rules aren't in place and there's no punishment for certain behaviors.
Yeah, and like also they're there so that we don't bring harm to ourselves too.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah, and also like I forgot my train of thought.
Listen, I don't like rules. I'll be the first one to tell you I don't want to follow them. But I have learned that, like you said, they're there for my protection.
Mm-hmm.
And that when I am doing the next right thing, usually I'm not breaking the rules. And that's the thing that it comes down to, right? Is like if I'm behaving in a manner in which is respectable to myself and to others, I don't really have to worry about it.
Yeah, and like I remembered I was thinking how rules are real. They're not like fake or not real. You know? Okay, this is Life for Dummies. Gotta get real dumb with us.
We're keeping it real simple today. Real simple.
Yeah, but so like what I mean is that, you know, I can't suddenly just run outside and throw an apple up in the air and expect it not to fall back down.
Yeah.
Like that's a rule of the universe. Like that is the gravitational pull of our planet spinning in space.
What if I don't grow up, I just grow old,
right?
a product of the clock? They just add 50% more and change the box.
I'm gonna keep
What
going.
if I don't grow up, I just grow colder, orbiting away, and the sun keeps shrinking with every passing day.
Yeah, it's
The laws of physics and
yeah, the constants, you know, universal constants. And like, you know, so that doesn't just apply to like the universe. Like there are
So nobody's happy, the photos are shocked, and everybody's bumping and waiting for the drop, as if the beat is the only release from this American life.
right? So like basically you know, that's not the only real rules out there. Like there are real rules in regard to behaviors, and like when we act certain ways in life that are not for our benefit, like we'll reap the negative effects of those actions.
absolutely. Like if we're putting out negative energy, we are going to receive negative energy back. And that's exactly the gist of it. Like there are certain things put into place because not all humans are good people. Let's just put that right out there. Not everybody is, you know, genuine and pure at heart. And there are people that will take advantage of situations, and you and me. So like certain things have to be put into place for, you know, in order for us to remain okay.
Yeah, like, what if everybody could just drive wherever they wanted all the time?
What do you mean? Like there was like no roads or something? I'm very confused.
Yeah, I guess people drive wherever they wanted all the time. All the time. But no, in regard to like, yeah, when they're on the road, like what if I could just drive anywhere? Like I don't have to obey the traffic laws.
Oh, so there would be accidents everywhere and that life would be real messy.
Real messy. It'd be so chaotic and there'd be a lot of casualties.
Exactly. And that's like why rules are put in place. So there's not casualties and we're not taking people out left and right.
Exactly. And so when you talk about rules, Cindy, in regard to like recovery and stuff, what are you specifically referring to?
Well, I am specifically, talking about the number one rule in my mind is don't use. That's it right there. If I don't use on a daily basis, then I have a fighting chance to get through any and everything. But if I pick up the substance, all bets are off and everything I've worked so hard for is done. I'm going to burn my life down to the ground again, and I'm going to usually end up feeling like killing myself. Sounds pretty terrible.
Yeah, it does sound really terrible. And, it seems like an easy rule. So why do you think it's so hard for a lot of people?
Well, I think it's really hard because for a long time, using is the answer, right? Using is our solution for everything. I don't like the way I feel, I'm going to use. I want to celebrate something, I'm going to use. Something bad happens, I'm going to use. I'm going out with my friends, I'm going to use. I don't like XYZ, I'm going to use. For a very long time, that was how I handled my life. I used. So it's really hard in the beginning to think about using as a solution and then realizing that it's really not the solution. And what am I going to do instead?
That's interesting. Like your whole depiction there was just making me think of something, and it made me think her whole life was using. Her whole way of life was using. Because it was like when she was happy or celebrating or sad or when it was raining or these other examples that you said. And that's crazy. Are you kidding me? You're saying as like a person in this world that your whole life you're just going to spend on getting high?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I did. And
that's so sad.
It is really sad. And the sad thing is that there are so many people out there who think that that is the solution to their problems. And I remember the very first time that I really ever felt, the effects of a chemical in my body. And I thought, wow, I could just feel like this for the rest of my life. Everything is going to be okay. Because all that self-doubt, all that negative self-talk, all the ways I felt inadequate, they just went out the window.
Wow, interesting. What it made me think of is because we have been talking about in some of our past episodes being more like a computer than like nature or natural, and yet we're human, and so we need to take rest for ourselves and take our time and allow for growth and for us to blossom. But that just made me think of kind of like a mechanical creature, like you were just going through the motions and putting a pill or whatever in your body and just like numbing yourself out through all instances just to experience like a euphoria, which is actually not real. It's just kind of like faked by chemicals in your body.
And that's exactly what it was. It was all false.
Yeah. And it's just science, you create these things in a lab or whatever on the street, and it just has the effect on your body. It's not real.
It is definitely not real, and nothing that was occurring in my life at that time was real either.
Wow.
It's a very sad state to be in, and it's very lonely, it's very isolating, and it's very scary.
I don't know about you, but I feel like if you were to go out there and talk to all the people who are drinking alcohol, on kind of a normal basis, or, maybe just token like marijuana or whatever, like, and you told them that they're living a fake life.
Oh, they would totally not agree with that at all.
Yeah, like, what are your thoughts about that?
Well, so listen, there are different types of people in this world, right? There are people that can have like a drink. There are people that can like smoke a marijuana cigarette like every 6 months. And then there's a person like me and like you, who once we put that substance in our body, we want it at all costs and can't stop no matter what. That's the difference. There's a line that has been crossed at some point, and the solution to my life is a chemical solution, and that's really no solution at all. There's a difference between people, if you're just literally having a drink every once in a while and nothing negative is happening and your life is still good and you don't base your life around getting more, then I don't see a problem with it. But if you're someone like me and once you start, you can't stop and all you want is more and you're not living a life anymore, that's a problem.
Yeah, or like obsessing about it, thinking about when you can go out next to have that, chemical or drink or whatever it is that, is bringing about that euphoria.
Yeah. When your life revolves around the obsession and the compulsion, there's a problem, And I can say that because that's how my life was for a long time. The obsession and compulsion to get and find ways and means of more. That's what I wanted. I wanted to feel a certain way, and I knew a certain thing would do exactly what I wanted it to do until it didn't anymore.
Yeah, and like, I think that there's a lot of people in the world today who, they show up to their jobs and they go about their normal lives, or, even like the mom culture where it's kind of like, oh, let me just make it to the part of the day when I can like have that glass of wine. Like, there are people who are living these lives that exteriorly it looks like things are kind of put in order, but they're like kind of dying inside and miserable and just making it to that next one.
Yeah, and you just said miserable. And that's the key word right there. If you are a slave to this and your whole life, like my whole day revolves around what time I get to have that, then for me, that's a problem. Mm-hmm. That's an issue, and like, what is it adding to my life? That's another question I have to ask myself. Is it adding value to my life? Is it, creating something in my life where like, it's just so fun and exciting that I can't live without? Or is it dirty, horrible, and disgusting all the time? And do I feel sick and hungover?
Yeah, totally. And like, I've heard the excuse of like, well, I get to because I worked so hard. Or like, I'm going to, relax and just drink all the time in retirement. And I get to because like, I've worked my whole life for this reality, like, and that's so sad because it's kind of like, hey, man, like, what is it that you really want to do in life? And I hope it's not just like put substances in your body. Like, what desires do you have in your heart? Like, how do you want to experience things? Do you want joy and fulfillment and satisfaction? What does that look like practically? Hey, man, guess what? You can start that today. You don't have to wait,
You don't have to wait. You can do it right now. Right now. It can either be, what does this say? It can either be one day or it can be day one and you can start right now.
That's so good.
It is good, isn't it?
So good.
So good.
There's like this person that I follow a lot and I listen to, and like, he passed on recently, but like, I listened to his institute because they still got like a YouTube channel and stuff. Shout out to Bob Proctor. And, he talks about this, how like, you can create your own reality. Like, you can bring successes and the things that you want in life to you. You just got to get on that level, that frequency, that vibe, to attract it to yourselves. And like, you don't have to wait. Like, a lot of people spend their whole life thinking like, oh, I have to go down this direction to eventually get over here. I have to work this job to eventually get that. And it's like, what the heck are you doing, man? Just like, start today towards the thing that you want, and it's going to come fast.
It does. It comes really fast. And like, my favorite thing is to tell people you're not stuck.
That's so good.
You're not stuck. You might be stuck in fear at the moment, but you are definitely not stuck in this spot. You can make a conscious decision right now, today, to do something different. If you want something different, you're going to do something different. And that's just been my experience thus far. You know, it takes a lot of courage, it takes bravery, and sometimes we just have to act as if and walk through the faith and fear and just do the next right thing till we get exactly what we want.
Yeah, like fear is your only enemy.
Oh, yeah. Fear will keep you stuck every time.
Like if you see anyone in life and you want those things that they have, like honestly, it's not hidden from you. Like because it was given to someone else, like it can be brought to you if you take the right steps towards the attainment of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you know, I can't think my way into something new. I have to act my way into it. So if I'm not really sure what to do? I ask for help. I ask someone who has exactly what if I want exactly what they have, I'm going to ask them exactly what they did. And then I'm going to go ahead and do it. Because you know what? I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. But what I do know is that I deserve to have the best life that I can absolutely ever possibly want. I deserve that. I deserve good things. Ask for help. Start something different. Do something new. Change.
Yeah, and like, you know, it's not like we're sitting here as like two, you know, girls in a certain place in life just kind of like preaching. Like, you know, I was living out of a car and she was homeless and she had 2 trash bags to her name. And, you know, I remember like you know, gas was kind of like a need because it was like my home and stuff. And you know, so like I remember like that time when like I had negative like $500 in a bank account because there was like this overdrawn check or something, and like I didn't have a tank of gas, and like I was at the gas station and I had just barely gotten there with the gas, and I was in like a really bad area in Washington D.C. and it was 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, I don't know about you, but even just remembering this experience brought goosebumps and like really terrible like feelings to me, you know, remembering that moment and how scared I was and how isolated and alone. And it wasn't like I could just call like grandma or dad or some like rich person or, you know, in like good society in the United States. It was like I had pushed everybody out of my life. I didn't have anyone. Like nobody had wanted anything to do with me anymore, you know, and I had been disowned by my family. And so like I was in a bad way. Okay? And so like she and I are sitting here today having gone through what it takes to get to where we are from absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Literally. Like, there was once upon a time when I would wake up in the morning and I would be like, I can't believe I woke up. I wish I was dead. And that's really sad. You know, I pushed everyone, like Ashley said, I pushed everyone away. And my only solution, like I've talked about before, was death, you know, suicide. And so we can totally say to you that change is possible. That you can and you do deserve something different. You deserve better. But you have to make the first choice. You have to make the decision today, right now, to do something different. But it's totally possible.
Yeah, look at us. It's totally possible. I mean, we got the best YouTube video podcast ever.
I mean, I checked on Google. Our pictures came up.
Right?
But seriously, you guys, we love you and we care about you. And if you are struggling with something and you want something different, you can start right now. You can get something different.
Yeah, there's only one rule.
Just don't use.
What happens when the 4 of us are in the same room and we haven't seen each other since leaving the womb? But the hiss of the static means no one has a damn thing to say. We just stare at our phones, they're glued to our hands. We're searching for friends, making overdue plans. Cause wherever we are, the greener grass is fading to gray.